Hello everyone. Today we are going to start with the new chapter which is biochemistry and production of biofertilizer. So in this lecture we are going to discuss the points like history of biofertilizer, introduction to biofertilizer, types of biofertilizer and advantages and disadvantages of biofertilizer. So in the history of biofertilizer, the history begins with the launch of nitrogen. Nitrogen is the commercial name of the biofertilizer which is prepared by the Rhizobia species. So, this is prepared by the scientists Nobbe and Hiltner in the year of 1895, and from this year the biofertilizer production is start. So how this biofertilizer concept comes into the picture? So when in the last centuries the farmers uses chemical fertilizers for the agricultural land, they were happy of getting increased yield in agriculture due to this chemical fertilizers in the beginning of the chemical fertilizers. But what happens is slowly as the year passes, the chemical fertilizer starts displaying their ill effects, such as they are leaching out, they are polluting water basins with harmful chemicals, they are destroying microorganisms and friendly insects also, and they are reducing soil fertility. They also make the crop more susceptible to the attack of disease because this soil fertility is reduced, the water holding capacity of soil is also reduced, and the texture of soil is also reduced, and due to this reason the plants is not getting the nutrients which they want, and that's the reason the crop is getting more susceptible to the attack of diseases. And due to the harmful chemicals, the water bodies near the agricultural land, they are also polluting. So this is how the chemical fertilizers start displaying their ill effects after some year passes. And due to this, there is number of intellectual thoughts are coming through the world to start working on the alternative to chemical fertilizers. And in this thought, the biofertilizer concept was produced. And these biofertilizers, when they thought about this, and after that they get an increased yield of the product without causing any damage to the crop or the agricultural land, and that's why these biofertilizers are come into the picture, and this is how they come into the picture. So this biofertilizer, what are these biofertilizers now? These are nothing but the substances which contains living microorganisms. The name itself suggests that biofertilizers means, bio means living organisms and fertilizers means a substance which contain living organisms into it. They are nothing but the biofertilizers which when applied to seeds or plant surfaces or soil, they colonize the rhizosphere or the entire interior part of the plant, and they promotes the plant's growth by increasing the supply or availability of the primary nutrients to the host plant. Like they can enhance the productivity of soil either by fixing the atmospheric nitrogen or by solubilizing the phosphate or by providing the nutrients to the plant to promote their growth. This is how the biofertilizers work. And according to this, they are broadly classified as a bacterial, fungal and algal biofertilizers. But the microorganisms which can used in biofertilizers are like Rhizobium species, which is a nitrogen fixing biofertilizer, or a nitrogen fixer organism, Azotobacter, Azospirillum, Cyanobacteria, and algae, which is also used in the biofertilizer. Trichoderma, which is a fungi, which is also used as a biofertilizer. Agrobacterium, mycorrhizal. These are the certain examples of microorganisms which are there and which helps us in the production of biofertilizers. So now, what are the types of biofertilizer? So there are, basically, according to the classification, they are categorized into three types: bacterial biofertilizers, algal biofertilizers, and fungal biofertilizers. So here you can see the rhizobium produces biofertilizers, azotobacter can produce biofertilizers. These two are bacterial biofertilizers, whereas blue green algae, it is a algal biofertilizer producing component. And azospirillum, Va mycorrhiza is nothing but vesicular herbascular mycorrhizae. It is a fungal species which produces fungal biofertilizers. So now, one by one we discuss about this biofertilizers. So what are bacterial biofertilizers? Bacterial biofertilizers are nothing but the fertilizers which contains bacteria as a living organisms. Okay, so they can be nitrogen fixing bacteria or phosphate solubilizing bacteria. Examples of these bacteria are Rhizobium species, Pseudomonas species, Bacillus megaterium, and Agrobacterium species. These are the certain examples of bacteria which can produces the bacterial biofertilizers. Okay, so Rhizobium is a nitrogen fixing bacteria which helps in production of nitrogen fixing biofertilizer, whereas Pseudomonas is a phosphate solubilizing bacteria. Bacillus megaterium is also an phosphate solubilizing bacteria. So these two, Pseudomonas and Bacillus megaterium, they are help us in production of the phosphate solubilizing biofertilizers. Okay, so next one is the algal biofertilizer. Algal biofertilizers are which contains algae. So BGA is the one of the most important example of the algal biofertilizer, which is the another type of biofertilizer used as an algal form. So the important species which can be also used as a biofertilizers are like cyanobacteria are there, annabene are there, nostoc is there, Toliphotrix is there. So these are the some species of algae which can produces biofertilizers. But this BGA which is there, this BGA has a certain most important role because it synthesizes and liberates plant growth promoting substances. What I am told you, BGA synthesizes and liberates plant growth promoting substances such as auxins, amino compounds which stimulates the plant's growth, and they have been used for particularly for rice crop. So this is how the BGA works. They synthesizes and liberates some plant's growth stimulating substances. Okay, and after that there is the last, which is fungal biofertilizers. Fungal biofertilizers are nothing but the fungal species which helps in the production of biofertilizers like Trichoderma, mycorrhizae, like. So this fungal biofertilizers includes plant growth promoting fungi. So these are the certain examples of the fungal biofertilizer producing organisms. So after this types of biofertilizer, there is one big question: what are the advantages of these biofertilizers now? Advantages of biofertilizers are: they improve soil fertility, they improve soil texture, water holding capacity also, because they are natural and organic fertilizers which can't harm the organic matter or the environment of the soil. And they are cost effective because we are using the live microbes, so their production cost is so less. So they increases crop yield than the chemical fertilizers without causing any damage to the plant. And they also replaces the 30 to 40% of the chemical fertilizers also. These are the certain advantages of the biofertilizers, and there are some disadvantages also, because anything which is there, it has some advantages, so it also has some disadvantages. So these biofertilizers also have some disadvantages. So what are these disadvantages are? The disadvantages are nothing but they require special care for long term storage, because we are using the live microbes, and live microbes require nutrient source to become live. So that's the reason they require special care for long term storage and must be used before expiry. Why this? Because we know if they expire or their expiry date is closer, then that time is nothing but the microbes are getting their nutrient source in the less amount, so they may die in that period, and that's why they are saying they must be used before expiring. So biofertilizers loses their effectiveness if the soil is too hot or too dry. We are using microbes over here. Microbes are living organisms. So if something is there which is too hot or which is too dry, at that conditions the certain microbes can't survive, and due to that reason they may loses their effectiveness in the soil, and that's the reason the biofertilizers loses their effectiveness if the soil is too hot or too dry. And if carrier material is contaminated, biofertilizer loses their effectiveness, or we can say the biofertilizer is not effective in that condition, because if the microorganism which we wanted to produce the biofertilizer, if the rhizobium is there, we are choosing the rhizobium, then it is used for only the nitrogen fixing purpose. So at that time if the rhizobium is contaminated with certain different microorganism, at that time this rhizobium can't help us to produce the nitrogen fixing biofertilizer, and that's why what happen is the biofertilizer which we are going to prepare is not prepare at that time, and that's why we are saying that the biofertilizers they loses their effectiveness, or we can say they are not effective at that time. So this is all about the introductory part, or we can say the concepts of biofertilizer we discuss in this lecture. So this is all about your today's lecture. Thank you.